Welcome. My name is Alu, and I invite you to tune in with me to the Soul Cultures channel. And so here we are today, and I want to start by acknowledging the lands that I'm on, the Arapaho, the Ute, and the Cheyenne tribes that have stewarded these lands since time immemorial and who continue to do so. And despite a lot of limitations and challenges imposed by the colonized mind and systems, I want to acknowledge and invite my own ancestors and ancestral lands into this etheric space so that we may harmonize with the lands and peoples where we are. And I invite you to do the same if you like. And I want to invite Divine Love Source Creator, above and below, higher selves, all four corners of the world, spirit guides of my highest calling, complete ancestors, directions of my complete ancestors, and elements of my complete ancestors to come into this space and fill this space with your love. And may my spirit protectors align my chakras to their most auspiciousness and seal this space. And if there are any entities that are not for our most auspiciousness, may they be brought out of this space towards their most auspiciousness. And so, tuning in here, there was something, what I was feeling into earlier today around soul cultures was about and generating cultures. It's kind of fueled by a conversation I had with a friend yesterday that is about this returning to our source through meditation and in every moment. This non-duality practice that encompasses dualities and ultimately comes back to this unchanging, what is unchanging. This just fell out. This is the card of presence. Which comes back to, how do we dance? How do we engage with the dance without being like gripped and identified with it? If our true identity is the source of all consciousness, it is emptiness, it is nothingness, it is spaciousness. And if that is the true source of our identity, then what are we doing here? Why are we here? And how do we engage in the dance? If it's just a play, the Hindu tradition calls the Leela. It's just this grand play. It's just the sacred dance of existing. Then how can we enjoy this dance? And how this relates to soul cultures is it's like, well, I think is to first generate liberation. I think knowing the true source of our identity, that is liberation, and feeling that in every moment. And then how in that space unfolding through our everyday, how our engagements, how we're present, and if we can allow that to be what generates our culture, well, I think it'll look different in every space. But also, we just got the ecstasy card that just came out, and this came out on the 2 days ago. Today's October 24th, 2022, and so 2 days ago was the first day we did this, and this was the card that came out. It was like opening space to allow ecstasy to emerge through presence. And then when we do that, that is what I want. That is how I would want to generate the culture. And another aspect of it is that I was thinking about today was that was also informed by my conversation with my friend, was about how culture, it was this nice reminder. I won't say nice, but it was like an appreciated reminder about how culture is, it has like ancient roots. Anytime there's like a shift in culture or a new emergence in culture, it's connected to what was there before, and it builds off of what was there before. So in the case of colonization and delusional white supremacy or white-bodied supremacy, creating culture from that is like, it's like reckoning with that while also reckoning with where we are and where we've come from. Whether it be white-bodied people or people of color who have lost their culture or their cultures. And like, yeah, how does this kind of like horrific stage of racism how does culture emerge from that? to me, racism just feels like a vacuum, so it's difficult to imagine culture emerging from that. So that's why reaching back to my ancestors feels like a fertile ground, even if it's a lost ground that I'm grieving. It exists somewhere, even if it's made up of soils all around the world or in different parts of the world. And then also my being, it's also made of that too. So when culture emerges, we have this dawning card again. So this is coming back to the reading 2 days ago. We had dawning and ecstasy. Ooh, and then underneath we have the crown. The dawning of the crown. Okay, so that makes me think of like, connection to cosmos. Because I was talking about the lands that I am, that I've descended from, and talking about where I am now and how I've got here, which feels like just a huge erasure of culture. But the crown card is bringing in the other element to it, the element of growth towards the cosmos. So while I am of the earth is of the cosmos. And the cosmos are of the source. So that's more of the macro lineage. I want to bring this all into what would it look like in our real lives. Thinking of the soils. The soils to me are a really fertile ground, potent place for reflection, because it's like everything that came before, and balancing the soils of our past. Doing that with our environments. Like, I'm living in this housing development right now and renting a room in a house, and I'm like, people have been talking about lawn culture, and I just want to I would want us all to just tear up our lawns and cultivate a food forest together, and do that everywhere. We don't need strip malls or more developments. I think we need more gardens and more local food. Another aspect of soils that I am really into are the clothing, the costumes of the past, and how do those costumes and those stories that the costumes bring to life through the roles of the past as well. How can those costumes transform to, how do they want to transform, feeling into the materials of our lives? And how do we generate more cycles? I feel like I've purged many times in my life, and every time I'm like, why? How have I accumulated these things? But a lot of times I wish I could be more closed loop about my purging processes and actually taking the time to tend to things instead of just dispose of them. Because that's what actually generates value, is when we cultivate relationships with the materials and the products and the things that we bring into our lives. I'm gonna pull from the Sacred Geometry deck now and see if there's any messages or wisdom coming through. Well, I will say that I feel like if we had more time to really just make a mosaic of our lives, then we would. But the way that this like individualized, isolated economy works is that it separates us, and so we're not able to synergize with each other and with like this emergence, to allow space for emergence. It doesn't happen within rigid systems. It happens within open, like rhizomatic, supportive networks and tribes. Echoes of One. This is the card that came out. Echoes of One. When I see this, I see the two Vesica Pisces reflecting, and then here's this like axis of reflection or horizon of reflection. But it's interesting because it's not a symmetrical reflection. It's more like a 180 pivot. That's what I'm noticing. Echoes of One. The sensation I'm getting is like pivoting and seeing like me looking from this perspective, me looking from this perspective, and echoing out. It's kind of a feeling I have right now. It's like I'm looking at things from these different angles, and I'm still one person, and I can hear myself kind of echoing into the spaciousness. And then the spaciousness is also one. So let's get some more cards. Okay, we have Dancing Through Eternity. And then Invitation. Oh. That's my invitation to you, is to dance through eternity with me. The eternal, endless source. And to loosen our grip on really needing to know everything or to know anything. And dance through eternity. Alright, that's all we have for today. I want to thank you. Thank you for receiving this. Thank you for being present. Thank you for taking the time to witness your source, your eternal, dancing, endless source. And may the spaciousness of our hearts usher in this emergence of ecstasy. Thank you.